back with another morning jam. Starting a little late, but we'll get a little better at it. Let's review where we got to last week. I'm very pleased. We got Linux and Windows builds working from one GitHub action job. And that was using this lovely matrix strategy, swapping in Windows and Linux at various parts of the thing. Actually, just here. These are calling into, so this is Godot export for release. Then it calls platform, which is Linux or Windows, and Linux or Windows are keys in the presets configuration. I've got a Mac key, a Windows key, and a Linux key. And I got all that building in one go and uploading artifacts. So like the jobs run here, you can view them and see what happened. They're green, so we know they worked. If I've done everything right. 47-second duration is pretty awesome. It built both Linux and Windows clients and put them here to be downloaded. So it's one thing, you know, it's nice to have the assets here attached to the action run, but it would be really great to actually tie all this into releases eventually. So, and I think this is a step on the way to doing that. But I'm still down in the guts of Godot and making Godot run in CI, etc. So the big thing I want to do, actually I have notes here. Let's jump over to those. The big thing that I want to do is Mac. So the thing about Mac is you can't build it on a non-Mac machine because it has to have access to Xcode tools and things like that. Very, very Apple sort of thing. I'm always conflicted with Apple. They combine some of the best research and hardware on the planet with some of the quote-unquote best marketing. Separating users from their dollars stuff. Smart business, but it's definitely fights my open source sensibilities at times. But it is what it is. And the cool thing that I think is cool is that GitHub has added macOS runners to GitHub Actions. And for open source runners, actions are free. So I guess that's my curiosity: is can we actually build Mac Apple stuff for free? So long as we're doing open source. And my hope is yes, and I'm gonna give that a shot. If that goes really fast, then I want to move on to the web build and actually start getting to where we can in one stroke build the web and deploy it to GitHub pages and make that all just seamless for the action. I got other things here. Let's see, what am I on about? Simver stuff. Oh yeah, export templates. I'm learning more about how the export templates work. It'd be nice to not have to have an export template at all, to not need. Let me go ahead and make sure. Make them optional on dev machine. That's a deadly thing. Entirely configurable in action.xml. Oh yeah, yep. Entire configuration cloned into the action, and then we can configure that with inputs. So the cool thing would be for a new user of Godot to not need to really know anything about exports, so they wouldn't stumble over the template downloads. They wouldn't have to learn that interface. They could just call this action and have it just sort of work, and then they can dig in and configure things as they wish. And I have a longer term, so a very good doc. So I want to make, yeah, so stages. It'd be nice to be able to quickly, build various things, a dev debug build, a prod build that's not like a production build that's not to be released. It's actually just for beta. So that would be like for external users to use it in its like release candidate form, but it's not released yet. A test build. So this I don't know how, there's some Godot unit testing frameworks, and you can also, because Godot is so wide open, you kind of can build your own testing stuff. And that's my inclination, is to kind of make my own little test harness and demo scenes and things like that. So it'd be nice to have a build that just that builds it appropriately, I guess, with debug information in there. I guess that might be debatable as to whether you want debug build or a prod build to run your tests against. Sort of depends on the kind of test you're doing. But to auto run various scenes or auto run a test runner or things like that would be a cool thing to have available. And then of course a release, a full release, a full production build of all platforms, and add all the assets to a GitHub release and bump the release to a new version. And that's where SimVer, heeding the SimVer stuff comes in. And then very good documentation around the action, and then bonus bonus stuff would be, so I've kind of got this idea of having like a game, an indie game site, microsite, marketing site, homepage, I don't know, all in one, like all in a box. So like so just the way that this like is gonna like deploy a web version of the game, what if it actually deployed a whole static website for you that was like a generic has like bad connotations, but like a one-size-fits-all game homepage template, and it just builds it for you, and then like, I don't know, just let me just make some notes. All in one game marketing homepage deploy. So you know, it's not going to be great. It's not going to be the thing that you would want to build if you could build exactly what you wanted, but it would be like, generate a new project in Godot, add this action, configure a couple of inputs, deploy, and then boom, in 5 minutes you've already got a full website going. Integrate with Fediverse. And so I'm gradually learning about the Fediverse. So we've got Mastodon, PeerTube, which is the YouTube Fediverse clone, and Limmy, which is the Reddit clone. Let me just make these notes. And you can live stream to PeerTube. We discovered that last week. So anyway, bonus. Let's see. Let's call it bonus. Indie game all in one site package. Okay, well, we'll find a better name for it than that later, but I just want to get the note down before I forget it. But anyway, that's way ahead of ourselves. We're still working on an action that's just simply embedded in a game of mine, an in-progress game of mine, to make tooling better. So yeah, so we're just hacking on tools, trying to make stuff a little tighter. All right, let me set my timer for 30 minutes. We'll start jamming. So we're gonna play with the Mac build. So how do we do that? Let's follow some better. Oh, I am in a branch. That's fine. I wonder if I should merge that. Probably should merge that since I'm not gonna worry about branches right now. Let's just keep jamming. Okay. So I'm on Mac right now, which means I could try some stuff locally. But actually, GitHub Actions macOS. Let's just get a look at what GitHub Actions is. Oh yeah. By the way, I switched to DuckDuckGo this week on my phone and on Firefox. I switched to Firefox a while back. Google has just sort of gotten to the point that it's a shame. So, still ashamed of my Gmail email address, but I can stop going to google.com by default, right? Why not? So far, so good. I'm not getting as much value out of Google searching lately anyway, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens with DuckDuckGo. Am I looking for am I in the right place? Mac OS. Windows, Mac OS operating systems. Mac OS latest. There it is. Oh yeah, they have Windows builds too. So that's interesting as well. Excuse me. What did I want to say? I want to say that so there's one thing, the platform you're building for, and I probably should change this to build platform, because look, see, sorry, not build platform, target platform, deploy platform, something like that. But look, there's also the build platform, right? So, which which version of which OS are we running to build it, and which Godot version do we download for that version. So like, yeah, it's pretty cool that we can run we can build Windows on Linux. Maybe that won't work forever. Maybe I will need to use a Windows runner at some point. I'm not sure. One thing is that I have RC Edit. I am using RC Edit. Okay, that's not actually in my presets, so I'm getting warnings for RC Edit anyway. But I have used RC Edit on Windows. I don't know if RC Edit. Sorry, what is RC Edit? RC Edit is a project that apparently editing Windows applications to change their icon and maybe just the icon is really hard for some reason. Welcome to 2023, and Windows still has oddities like this. So there's this open source thing that helps you do that. Godot's great. They don't build really intense, highly detailed proprietary stuff in. They try to stick to the open stuff and then let the community and plugins do everything else. But they did add a way to basically specify where RC Edit is so that it can call it in the release process. Anyway, command line tool to edit resources of exe file on Windows. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's an Electron app, so maybe it'll run on Linux. Maybe it won't. But anyway, point being, when we want to actually export the correct icon for our game, we're going to need that. And when I say correct icon, I've got my Worlds Collide app. I just took one of Kenny's icons that one of Kenny's graphics that I'm using. And when I say Kenny, I should be really clear. Kenny is brilliant in the community. It's Kenny.nl, yes. He makes just great assets. He's got lots and lots of assets. And they're free. They're pay what you want on itch. You can buy the big all-in-one bundle one time and keep getting updates for it. They're very good. They're very good. I won't say that they're instantaneous to be dropped into Godot and get working. There's some tweaking required. There's some figuring out which ones go where. Getting them configured so they link together correctly. Just really depends on what you're trying to do. And but anyway, he's clearly got a good build pipeline because he re-exports all this stuff and improves it over time. And he's gradually taking more interest in Godot, especially with the recent Unity meltdown, etc. So definite friend of indies everywhere. Great way to just get started fast. In fact, he's even got like prototype textures and things like this. I mean, how cool is this? This is the kind of thing that I'd like to have just sort of easy to default to. You know, a 3D project with this already built in, ready to go, and a couple of CSG or other block style editing tools, and you could hit the ground running fast. I guess I ramble a lot on my live streams. Learning about myself. Give me one sec. I see I've got a text. I'll check. Nope, no big deal. Something to deal with later. Okay. Why did I mention Kenny? Why did I mention RC Edit? I'm going crazy talking about runners. Okay, I've got the macOS latest. Let's what do I need to do? Let's go look at the marketplace, GitHub Actions marketplace, because we're gonna. I know we need Xcode. So let me just. And I'm certain there's an Xcode. Oh yeah, look at this. So you need Xcode. So notarization. You know, Mac makes you sign your apps. You got to pay Apple to be able to sign your apps. And then if you deploy them, they can open without that nasty gatekeeper warning. But you don't have to do that, and we'll get there. That's an aspiration as well. Is get to. Let me go ahead and make a note of that. Is get all the way down to signing. Let's see. Stages. Okay, some signing is required for some of these like prod build stuff. So let me just make app signing notarization, app stores, etc. It'd be really cool to be able to kind of have that built into the process as well. So yeah, we'll get there. Should be fun. Oh yeah, and I've got this RC editor under GitHub Actions ? That would be something to figure out too. Update the upload artifact action. Did I do that? I think I did that. Oh my gosh. I've got to get my app swapping better. I'm not seeing any errors. I think that was for a deprecation. So load artifact v3. Yeah, I think I did the right thing already. So that is done. Oh yeah, the PCK file. Let me real quick just ask a question about that. Godot PCK file. Export. Exporting packs, patches, and mods. Overview PCK. Godot enables this feature. Okay, so PCKs are for patches? Incremental updates, DLCs, mod support, no source code disclosure needed for mods, more modular project structure, users don't have to replace the entire game. That's great, but I'm generating them. Okay, here we go. In order to pack all resources of a project into a PCK file, open the project and go to project export, click PCK. Make sure you have an export template selected. Another method would be to export from the command line. Yes. Opening them at runtime. To import a PCK file, one uses the project settings singleton. Follow example, expects a mod.pck. This is all about mods and external stuff, but I'm getting this thing generated with my original build. Not real sure. Not real sure what that's for yet. Okay. PCK file says it's for mods, patches, etc. Why is it building? Do I need it? We'll revisit that later. Okay. Swear I'm going to work on Mac. Excuse me. Set up Xcode gen tool, Xcode gen, what? Xcode cache, Xcode deploy, notarizer, Xcode build. Come on, GitHub. Show me what I actually need. How about install Xcode? Xcode gen, Xcode environment setup. Sometimes I don't know if I'm having a hard time with the GitHub Marketplace search, or let's just say GitHub Actions, macOS, install Xcode. Let a search engine do the work for us. Excuse me. Set up Xcode version. That sounds right. That sounds right. Okay, 217 stars. Action is intended to switch between pre-installed versions of Xcode for macOS images and GitHub Actions. Actually makes me wonder if it just comes already set up, because I guess if you're doing code stuff. Okay. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, let's get something running, because I sometimes don't hit my stride until I've got code running. This one I think I'm done with. Yeah, to do build Godot without using a container. Yep. Yeah, so the original problem was, I don't know if that was even a problem, but the other Godot build actions out there do use containers, and like containers just not going to work for Mac. So I don't know if that's the original problem or not. All right, jobs install Godot. Probably shouldn't call these the way that I'm. They shouldn't be named the way they are, but. We'll get there. Let's say build game Linux and Windows. This is terrible. This is terrible, but I'm going to use it. Okay. Again, let's just. I'm going to come down here, and I'm just going to sort of just copy stuff, and we'll worry about code reuse later. All right, let me just paste what I had. Yeah, okay, actually I already stole the stuff I needed. Okay, so we've got what we needed. My comment already had the right thing. Oh my gosh. Did I call it build game Linux and Windows? Build game Mac OS. Mac OS latest. Okay, we got setup Xcode. We're gonna take the latest stable. Okay, we've already got the upload artifact. That's for the end. And probably actually gonna do the same thing as this. So that uploads at the end. Okay, this gets Xcode installed. So okay, so I need the same things that we did before. Oh, right. Just one large shell script, right? Let's copy it. Let's get Godot set up. I'm going to go ahead and comment this until I'm ready. Is this more indented than it was? It's strange. Oh, I think I have them nested under steps. Oh yeah, I got the dash directly under steps. That's fine. Let's do it. Let's keep it that way. I'll dent. Download, unzip, and add Godot to path. Okay, great. All right, so we're reusing things. It's on, you know, it's already, like, this is reused from up here, so we'll we'll go with it for now, and eventually we can extract things, which we're going to eventually extract things anyway, because we want to expose the right step to the user. What I need to do now is go to the Godot builds repository and pop over to releases, and this is what I mean by we can have a nice release, auto release thing. You know, we build like this, and you'd see everything. So what we need is this is the Godot editor. We need to download the Mac OS version of the editor. Suddenly find myself wondering what kind of hardware the runner is on. Like, is it using the M3 stuff? Does it matter? Where's the Mac OS runner stuff I was looking at? Mac OS. Got Mac OS latest. What do we have here? 3 processors. That's just what the processors are. Let's just search for M2, M1, M3. Nope. Let's Google GitHub Mac OS processor type. Probably Intel, right? Introducing the new Apple Silicon powered M1 Mac OS large runner for GitHub Actions. This was, a couple months ago. So these are M1. They just released M3s. Why would they be rolling out M1s? It's just cheaper, and I guess good enough. And CI is different. I don't know. Apple developers require the latest chipset. This is not the latest chipset. M1 Mac OS runner comes with GPU hardware acceleration enabled by default. This is pretty interesting. Maybe we can do some cool stuff with Godot if these runners are coming all built out. Workflows are transferred from the CPU to the GPU for improved performance and efficiency. Runners equipped with a 6-core CPU, 8-core GPU. Wow. 14 gigabytes of RAM, 14 gigabytes of storage. Yeah, we can build some good stuff there. That's no potato. It can reduce build times by 80% compared to the existing 3-core Intel standard runner. Okay. How to use this runner? Oh, Mac OS 13X large. So how much you want to bet these aren't free? Pricing. Best developer experience we're excited to share with you will be decreasing the price of our Mac OS large runners. We understand the importance of achieving. With today's launch, Mac OS large runners are priced at 16 cents a minute. What did we say? Our whole thing ran in 47 seconds. I mean, that's not terrible. Holy cow. So if Mac OS is similar, then 16 cents a build, less. That's for the XL, and then for the large, it's 12 cents a minute. That's interesting. To learn more about per job, minute per minute pricing, check out the docs. Oh, interesting. All right, so I'm not going to use that runner though. That'll be a cool thing to like add. Okay, we have macOS latest X large, macOS 13 X large, latest large, 12 large, 13 large. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, I think we're gonna. So I think that means only those large ones have the M1s right now. Probably just a price segmentation strategy by GitHub for the moment. I think that makes sense. What we'll do, macOS. Oh, hey, look at that. There's only a universal build for Godot. I would have assumed there was an M processor build, but I guess there's not. That makes me wonder. Let me just bust open Godot real quick. As is my pleasure. I want to see the export settings. Just see what it exposes. Maybe it'll. I wonder if it lets us pick a chipset in here. Because you would think that it could build either, and you'd want to build them differently. macOS, debug, release, console wrapper, icon, bundle, signature, category, short version, high resolution, platform build, 14C18. I don't know what that is. SDK version, SDK. Oh, this is Xcode stuff. Yeah, and I've long-time Mac user, but I've never done Mac development. You know, I'm aware of it, semi-familiar with it. I watch the updates. Swift is cool. I get what they're up to, but as a web developer, I've just never been able to justify digging into the closed garden ecosystem. It's probably why I'm not rich, but turns out I don't want to be rich. You shouldn't either. Yeah, I don't see anything about the chip in here. That's fascinating. Something else to look into. But I think it seems like I'm basically doing the classic developer thing and generating problems for myself that I don't actually have. All right, let's copy the link to this. Copy link. Are we in the macOS section? Yes, we are. All right, so this is Godot. Copy this line and paste here. Okay, so it looks like Godot version is going to be able to be kept just as it is. What am I doing? Godot V. Okay, so 4.2 stable underscore macOS universal. Whereas I have build platform Linux. Okay. Yep. So all I really need to do is steal this. Drop this right here. So now our build platform is macOS universal, and then file name puts it all together. Yeah, with underscore. Yeah, that looks right. That looks right. Okay. And then let me just pop into my own terminal. You can't see it. Let me just put it over on the screen where you can see it. So I'm using curl in the other example, so let's just make sure we have curl. We do have curl. Do we have wget? Yeah, no wget, right. So different platforms come with different things by default, and wget and curl are the like classic command line download stuff. Command line download stuff commands. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be using that thing, right? I lost it. Oops, I deleted the wrong line. Yeah, I did. I want to keep that line because we fixed all the variables. Okay, so this should download it for macOS. This should download the export templates for macOS. Hopefully, does that need to change? Godot, no, that looks like that's just the same. Looks like I could even factor another thing out. Godot underscore V, Godot version is the same prefix for Godot and for the export templates, but let's not worry about that right now. Export okay, and then I decompress the Godot, I decompress the export templates, and I run ls to make sure I know what I'm looking at. I actually don't need to do that anymore. So I say. Then I do the path stuff. This was stolen. This is something I just grabbed from GitHub. Sorry, from Googling around to see what to do, and they just, they make up a .local/bin directory. They make up a magic spot where Godot expects to see template exports. I do that. I do that one. Echo this into the path, so this is how you add stuff to the path in GitHub runners. I'm guessing this is all going to be the same for macOS, and we're going to find out. I don't know how they account for shell differences and whatnot, but okay. And then I copy Godot to be in there at the path, so I can just call Godot later. And I also copy the templates in there. Okay. Now I'm going to uncomment this so that it runs Godot-H. So we should at the end see the Godot output if we've done everything right. I don't know if there is a fast way to say don't run a certain job, but I know a fast way to... Oh, I didn't do it. I know a fast way to tell it not to do it, and that's to comment the whole dang thing out. All right, so now our jobs only has the macOS job set up. Let's just send it up to the dang. Send it up to GitHub and see what they think. Yeah, all right, we lunged a bunch of stuff here, but this is gonna be fun. What does it think I did? Oh yeah, I commented that whole thing out. And oh yeah, Git is confused because of the weirdness of my copy pasta, but it's fine. Try macOS. Push it up. Head over to the Actions page and let's watch it build. Let's watch how it fails. More like it. All right, it says build game macOS. Kind of hate that label. Switch that. Downloading Godot. That is still super fast because, hey, guess what? Godot builds as a GitHub project as well. So when a GitHub project downloads a GitHub binary or whatever, it's fast. Well, a little slower, actually. I wonder what that's about. On the Ubuntu runner, it was getting like 300 megs a second. It's fascinating. Oh, you know what? I bet it was slow the first time. I bet the next time we run it, it'll be fast. It may auto cache. And caching is something else to look into. Oh, look at that. That's not going to work the same, is it? For Linux, the templates are the same, of course, because it's the same zip. But, crunch. What died? Beautiful. Slow download, no worries. Okay, so unzipping the macOS. So when we unzipped the Linux one, it was just one file, I think. We'll go look and we can go check. But just one file. But for Mac, it's the main file is not actually a file. All the apps you have are actually directories. They're magic directories. Yeah, it's anything labeled .app turns itself into an application. Looks like an icon, but it's actually a directory. And then there's a boatload of stuff inside of it. And in fact, that I believe is the executable. That's the thing I need to copy over. And what I did was copy the whole thing over and tried to call the whole thing directly, and that's what's going to fail. Look at that. Tried to copy, the main file name, and that just doesn't exist. I don't know if I can... What have I done on my own machine? I believe do I have... Oh, Godot alias 2. Yep. Made an alias for it. Applications, Godot.app, contents, macOS, Godot. Okay. Okay, so it extracts it. Where is it again? This is it right here. Now, How do I alias that? I bet it's easier than I think. Okay, so this is the line that I believe failed. Let's just do an ls here after we've unzipped everything to make sure I've got a good, clear picture of where everything is. I think I might not need to do any of this. Let's comment it out for the moment. This is the executable, which is to say, I bet I can just call that .h. Oh, sorry, -h. Let's also try alias Godot equals. Okay. And then can we call Godot -h directly like that? I don't know. Let's find out. I can comment this. That's probably enough for now. I've got ls so I can see the templates and everything. Yeah, let's try this. See what new happens. We don't have to, we don't have to be able to call Godot nice and clean like that, but it's nice and clean. I don't know, it feels like I think getting it set up like this is nice because I may even allow users to call through my action and execute Godot themselves directly, and they don't need to like reconstruct the version name in the case of Linux, or like figure out how to call this deep down inside of a Mac of a .app, different on every platform. I think the cool thing would just be able to call Godot no matter what. Just from like a basic usability standpoint, stability is what I expect. Oh, look at that! Something worked. Oh, and something didn't. Godot command not found. I'm such a charlatan sometimes. All right, so the extraction happened, and then the template extraction. Then okay, so I've got Godot. So after extraction, what is sitting here in the base? I've got Godot.app and templates, and then the two zip files that were unzipped. So Godot.app is where I thought it was. Templates is adjacent. What is this saying? String. Okay, so. That's an interesting error. That's from calling Godot directly. Okay, usage Godot option. Yep, got the usage. Oh, my alarm's going off. That's half an hour. Very good. Getting time to wrap up soon. Okay, Godot command not found. Did this run once? Display options. Yeah, it ran once. Okay. Very good. Command not found. Because let me off screen check what my aliases are. I think I defined an alias wrong. Yeah. So I think the alias, this path here needs to actually be, it's a relative path, and that's not good. So we want to do something like this. It's like $home. I think that might have been the problem. So we can try that again. Where's that name templates coming from? The directory name that I ends up to. Anyway, fine. I want to fix this name. What did I say up here? Build Linux Windows. Okay, yeah, build for Mac. Build for macOS. Beautiful. Look at change. Try to alias that better. Go execute. Shut up. Build for macOS, looking much better already. Check my phone while that builds. Okay, here we go. Godot command not found. Got the same thing. Okay. Read my aliases again. Make sure I'm doing the right thing. Alias Godot equals. Surprising. I don't know what's going on here. Does it give me a line? 23. Just want to make sure it's actually happening where I think it's happening, but I think it is. 74, 394 is 20. 1, 2. Yeah, it's probably 23. So why doesn't that work? So I say which Godot. Sorry. Alias Godot / application / Godot. I have the quotes around it, but I don't think that is it. This is what I have locally. I have alias Godot equals / application / Godot.app / content / macOS / Godot. All right, we know this works, so I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. Let's try this with the $home. Because that's where I have this, right? I don't... Is that where I have this? Let's change the ls to do home, just to make sure it's sitting there. It's a little weird when you're working at arm's length from these runners, but I find that I can muddle through pretty quick. I'm just going to say which Godot after that. See if that takes. CLI finagling. Why not? So we may not get to a complete ending point today, which is fine. I can take some notes on where we got to and leave it a work in progress. But it's going to be great when we've got all the primary desktop platforms building in one action. I want to get the web going, and then it'll be cool to try to actually call the action from a different place. Is it still taking a while to download each time? Yeah, it is. That's surprising. Yeah, definitely want to cache that. I don't know if they don't have, if they just have worse caching, or if they have a better backplane between Ubuntu and the rest of GitHub, or what, but Ubuntu downloads that thing so fast. Yeah, downloading cache Godot version. That'll speed it up and makes us just a better citizen of the web. Okay, what we got here? You know what? I think maybe. So I did ls home, and look at this. Oh my gosh, what all is in here? A macOS runner, and you've got a .azure directory. I don't even know. .trash. Gradle config. What are all these? Oh my gosh. Desktop. Okay. Okay. Desktop documents, downloads, library, movies, bootstrap. Okay, so what I'm learning is that we're not actually in the directory we think we are. What blew up though? It didn't even show me the. Didn't even show. Okay. Stop documents, downloads, library, movies. Well, thing is, we could build pretty quick. Okay. All right. So that's what's in $home, and we are not in $home. What are we in? Are we in? Where or maybe? Thinking. We're probably in one of these locations, right? Are we sitting in Bootstrap? Are we sitting in or Word? Target? How fascinating. Runners? I don't know. I don't know. Let's what is it? CWD? Current working directory? CWD. No. Present working directory? PWD? Yeah, PWD. I think that'll just be echoed. Let's just call PWD. Honestly, let's just call it at the front. Oh, look at that. Why is it getting me highlighting now? I don't know, but I like it. Comment everything but that. PWD. And when it comes to Linux, I don't know, I've been using it for ages, but I always sort of feel like I'm still a newbie at it, so, what happened? I think it... Well, I think whatever made that highlight might have also made it not run. I don't know what's happening there. I don't know. Please the action gods, please. Yeah, so let's just what does PWD stand for? Unix like system command writes the full path name of the current working directory. So does it mean path name? Short name for the print wdir command. Man. PWD means print wdir, which who knows what that means. Okay, great. Thanks. I don't know. Yes, this actually ran. Okay. Oh, there we go. Users, runner, work. Worlds collide, worlds collide. Wow. Can't we just use PWD? Can I be like tick PWD? And that like puts it there? Yeah, that tries to use it directly. Okay, so just put that all back. That might be a nice shortcut anyway. Okay, so this $home stuff. Still kind of curious if the $home might be a better thing to do, but felt like the alias was so simple. Okay, so alias, and then this can just be, so this could become PWD, right? So PWD, I think that executes PWD and inserts it right there. We are going to find out. No more of this. Why don't we figure that out? Why don't we just decide what to do there? I have something I can execute right here. Let's just cat my let's just cat the so if I do cat a certain file and then I do cat pwd / that file, so pwd should insert where I am right now. Identical. Boom, that works. So you see I just threw caution to the wind and tried something locally. Okay, there we go. That's gonna do that. Not even working on the templates yet, but we'll get to that in a sec. Let's give it a shot. Godot unzipped. Export templates unzipped. What if I can tell it exactly which thing to unzip? That'd be faster if I do that. Oh, we need macOS. Oh, something blew up. Is this dying? It doesn't look like it's actually doing anything after that. Inflates everything and then says it exited with process code 1. Maybe this died, but it didn't give me a message if it did. I don't know why that would be. Let's run it again. Like, so something else happens before alias. I mean, about to alias. Put some echoes in here. About to which, and about to Godot. Okay. And maybe one more. About to Godot. It can be so hard to debug things. And you know, I'm just failing forward, right? Like I haven't like looked at how GitHub Actions does things. Didn't read a bunch of docs first. Frankly, I can wipe myself out if I decide to read instead of act. I've learned this about ADHD. I've been recently diagnosed. I can sort of always read more instead of taking action, and I have to sort of mitigate that. So this is sort of what I'm up to now, is forcing myself to just go, to just move, to just act, to get the system responding to me, and get my attention on the living system versus reading documentation forever. I can always convince myself that it's nice to read some more. Okay, that is helpful. So those, yeah, so this was much more helpful than going to read. Right, so I'm about to get to uppercase Godot. I did that, and it worked. Aside from the weird little null string thing, which I don't think is going to be useful here, it did print out the help. About to alias, no error. About to which, error. Why would which error? Surprising to me. Maybe which... Does which error? And which? Data program. Oh, yeah, I bet it does. When I which Godot, I get that. Does that not return? The problem? I don't understand why that's exploding. I don't understand why that seems to be exploding. I can't exactly tell what's exploding. All right, I'm gonna start taking notes because I need to be done. All right, so we're working on Mac. Why don't I just go ahead and put a star so we know where we are. Cache the downloads for speed. Get Godot on the path. Move up again. Oh, it takes so long to do all that stuff and then it just explodes. Unceremoniously. Godot, command not found. Alias not working. Maybe aliases don't work in whatever special shells like this. That could be really... That could make sense. Is a symbolic link a good idea? I mean, suddenly thinking about that. Like, I bet these still work, and copied the whole Godot thing there. wonder, can you copy just this thing straight over there? This guy doesn't know. Stop doing the export templates for a moment. Speed it up. Alright, let's uncomment all this. Okay, so we make the bin, we copy exports to a nearby place. We put the bin into the path, then we copy Godot into the bin. This file name is wrong for what we actually want to do. There, that copies this guy to that guy. And then we copy the templates over. Test it. All right, so this is a complete switch of strategy. Try path again. And I wonder, I sort of dream that one day someone will be watching me live who knows some stuff, and they will help me when I struggle with my Linux charlatan, command line charlatanery. I guess I'm in macOS. I shouldn't blame Linux for things. Command not found. Wait, really? Is that fast? You dumped it. Godot command not found on line 29. Did I leave? That was fast. Is this line 29? Nowhere else calls it, do they? 74, 10 lines, 20 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, that one. Can't find it. Can't find it. Local/bin. What am I doing wrong? I'm sort of shocked. Which, let's see. What can we do? We can do, so which Godot may actually blow up? Wasn't sure about that from earlier, but we'll try it. ls the bin path will echo path. Is that what I need to do? Is that the bugging? Oops, didn't get my update. There we go. I've been live for more than an hour. Okay, I really didn't just quit. See if we get any joy on this one, and then I'm calling it a day, folks. Okay, what do we have here? Something's interesting. Oh, these are path printing. Okay, yeah, Godot is in that directory. There's 220 files. Okay, and then in here we have, when I print the path, these are local bin. What is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be .local, home.local. What is? Godot's in there. I echo the path. I echo the GitHub path. One of those isn't doing anything. And it dies on... Wait, what's that? Runner file commands add path. That's me printing GitHub path. Okay. Right, GitHub path isn't actually a path to be printed, it's a thing that just does a thing. And then I think which Godot is what's dying again. Process exited with exit code 1. If Godot wasn't working, it would say command not found. Obnoxious. Do a lot of clicking around between runs. That's not great. Maybe I can figure a way around that. About to Witch. Yeah, Witch is the one dying. Why is Witch dying? Okay. Maybe I just shouldn't use it. Alright, we know we've got... Forget Witch. Get you, Witch. Okay. Yeah, alright, I'm done for the day. Let's quit here and leave this. This is the main thing. Get the Godot on the path. Alright, folks, I'm calling it a day right there. We'll see you in a morning soon. And we'll keep working on this thing. Let me just make a note that this... I don't want to say this is hard. It's frustrating, but it's solvable, and when you're working on tools, or even on a business, a company of some sort, frustrating things are opportunities. So if I can get this figured out, then then share it, then other people don't have to. So just sort of like whenever hurdles are coming at me and they feel like universal hurdles that everyone's going to have to deal with, I sort of focus on that to help me stay optimistic, to stay like I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that why is to help other people. So if I can solve it, if I was in like a corporate profit-seeking mindset, solving it would be something to patent or hide away and have your secret sauce and make money from, do faster than your competitors. But when you're in open source mode, it's public service. I'm going to solve it in order to share it. I'm going to solve it so people don't have to solve it. And in this case, particularly in game development, what I really love is lowering the bar for a game to get made. So this frustrating trial and error, reading docs, figuring something out work is one more thing that others won't have to do. Is one more thing that will get more games made faster on more platforms. And if we can get more games, I know we're in late stage indie apocalypse, but there's definitely voices out there who are still unable to make games that we were unable to hear because it's still a high-ish bar, particularly as people get non-technical. So let's unlock more games. Let's take on the frustration with our cognitive surplus, and allow people who have a cognitive deficit to get caught up and push things forward. So that's my happy message of the day. Thank you all for checking this out, and I hope to see you soon. This is the end of my stream. Bye bye.